Hello, guys. Thank you for being here. We'll be starting the show here in just a minute or so. When you come on, get ready to ask your questions. Get ready to ask your questions. Get ready to say hello. Tell me where you're watching me from. Also, tell me how old you are. This is Workouts for Older Men Live. I'm so glad you're here. Also, tell me if you are new or you've been watching this show. So glad you are here joining me this morning. Thank you so much for the follow, New York. All right, guys, when you come on, say hello. All right, here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am Skip LaCour. So glad you are joining me. When you come on, say hello, hello, hello. That's our Workouts for Older Men Live greeting. Tell me where you're watching me from. What part of the world are you watching me from? Bright and early, I come to you every single morning. So glad you're here. The first person I'm talking to today. Let me know if you're watching me on TikTok at Skip LaCour, YouTube at Skip LaCour, or on my Facebook page at Skip LaCour page. Right? Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me how old you are. I want to know. I want to know the men who are a little bit older, have busy, productive lives coming my way. Make sure you follow. Tap that screen over on TikTok. All right. I appreciate the likes. It attracts more men just like you into our circles, asking questions and learning from each other's experiences. All right. So when you come on, say hello. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tap that screen. I appreciate all the likes, attracting more men like you over on TikTok. Cotton, good morning, sir, from Mississippi on TikTok, 55 years old. All right. So glad you are here. Now, Cotton, I know this isn't your first time here. I'm curious, what do you find most valuable about the time that you're spending here? All right. Let me know that. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hey, today I want to talk about what it takes for real transformation. Right. I know that you want this badly. You're searching all over the internet and you're wondering things like, okay, I can't lift as much weight as I used to. Can I still build muscle? Can I build muscle because of my age? You worry about your testosterone levels. That's something that's talked about a lot on social media, like your testosterone levels after you get past, 30 years old, they drop significantly. And is it possible to build muscle? Is that the reason why I have this body fat that I didn't seem to have when I was younger? The man boobs. I mean, hey, I know I'm not ripped and lean, but man, these man boobs, I don't remember my body ever having it, these man boobs like I have now than when I was younger. Can't eat the way I used to. I just look at a carb now that I'm older. I can't eat as much food. I just look at carbs and I get fat, right? Your joint pain. How do you lift when you're older? Lighter, must be lighter with all this joint pain, right? Train the body part more frequently. What are the unique conditions in addition to your lifestyle, your choices, your priorities? You don't have all the time that you had back when you were younger to work out. Maybe a lot of men in their 50s who come to my website, skiplacour.com, who visit Workouts for Older Men Live, they've never had the time, or they never made the time, I guess, if you want to take total responsibility. They never made the time to work out on a consistent basis. They were taking care of their family, building real businesses, taking on the stress of life. Big men stuff, responsible men stuff. In addition to that, raising a family and all the games and the travel and all the recitals and things like that, didn't make time to work out on a consistent basis, go to the gym. But now they do have that time. They have that desire, thinking about their mortality, right? Extend this life, right? It's sneaking up on us. By the way, my name is Skip LaCour. If you're new, let me know if you're new. I will be 62 years old in a couple of weeks. I've been doing this for 35 years, this bodybuilding, training, working out, all right, teaching pretty much from the day I started. I took on the motto to teach is to learn twice. Writer for all the muscle magazines, built my first internet website in 1994, wrote my first book about bodybuilding and training in 1994, sold my first VHS tape, if you remember those things, back in 1998. I've been doing this for a long time, helping people like you for the last 8 years. All those specific conditions that I just talked about that we think about when we're older, and maybe mental, maybe physical challenge of working out any right now that we're older. If you have worried about if any of those things I talked about are affecting your ability to build muscle and lose body fat, or to carve out the time, do you have to work out the way that you used to? A lot of men, just talked to a gentleman before, he was all into it when he was younger, and he only knows of one way. He doesn't have that time, so he's reluctant to even get back into it because he doesn't have the time or the brain space to work out the way that he did when he was in his 20s. So now here he is in his 50s. Should I even try if I don't have that time? Well, yes, you should. These are all the mental, physical, emotional, the workout and eating strategies that I address here on Workouts for Older Men Live. Here's one other thing. I'm a former 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. For 15 years, I competed. I don't even remember how many shows that I did. It wasn't just those 6 that I won the national championships. That's extreme focus, that dedication, all the eating strategies from carnivore diet, fasting, the different workout strategies. I learned from the best in my pursuit to become the best, right? I now can differentiate what's important, what's not for you. So as you're looking all over the internet with all the information that may seem like overkill, all right, from the younger, passionate fitness experts, what's important, what's not, I want to help you differentiate that so that you can move forward with certainty and confidence, and you can have the efficient use of your willpower, focus, energy, time to build that muscle, lose that body fat, be healthy and fit now that you're a little bit older. And that's what makes this workout for older men. All right, so let me address some of your questions. All right, and welcome you for being here. All right. User 8229. Thank you for the follow. 61 here. Bones just started a gym, had neck surgery. Well, good luck with that. And awesome, just starting out a gym. Let me know what I can help you. If you go to skiplacour.com, there are a lot of videos there that are tailored to men just like you, just starting out in the gym. I know how intimidating that can be. I want to make you do what I can to make you feel certain and confident that that you can do this, and it's a welcoming place to be. All right. So Kurt says on TikTok, I have a little time. All right. Now, there always is a cost of entry. Hey, thank you so much for those likes. Thank you so much for those follows on TikTok. Just like with anything in life, there's a certain price to pay for the level of success that you want. All right. So it's establishing those standards, what they are, and make sure you're living up to them. And at the same time, not paying too severe of a price. Don't make it clouded with time and details that aren't necessary. And I want to help you find that balance, get you those results, right? Get you those results, and keep your life intact, right? My views on kettlebell bells, they work. Any type of weight resistance, just a different style, depending on your goals, right? Is that the most efficient form of working out? It really depends on what your goals are, how much time you have, how much space you have, what type of weight you have access to. A lot of the men who want to do this, what I encourage them to do is, get, they're fortunate enough to have a gym in their area, that has the complete setup of the machines, barbells, dumbbells, right? It doesn't have to be fancy. In some places you can do that for $20 a month. Get out of the house. You don't have to worry about accumulating the right equipment to do the right exercise. You'll have the whole variety of the basics and more of the exercise. So it just makes building muscle, losing body fat, that whole gym experience a little bit easier, a better system, and usually a good investment, right? But You know, if you're limited in time, you like the style, it works with your schedule. All right, kettlebells can work well. Bones is new. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Should I exercise sore muscles? I'm assuming they're sore from the last time you worked them out. Uh, is that right? CR4 Chad. Uh, you should wait. You know, hurrying to do it. I appreciate the ambition, right? Maybe it was just 1 or 2 days before you train it in your ambition to work it out again, improve that body part. Let's just say chest. Uh, you know, you break down the muscle through your training, you know, causing that trauma, so to speak, pushing past the point it hasn't gone before, right? Then it tears muscle down, then it takes time to repair and recover. And in that state, it's ideal to train it again, not before. You're not rushing. It probably doesn't need as much work as you might think. So there's no need to train that muscle again when it's sore. Wait a couple of days, you'll be good. Right? I appreciate the ambition, but hurrying the process won't do you any good. Larry, great, good morning, sir. So glad you're here over on Facebook. Again, just tell me where you're watching me from. All right, tell me how old you are too. Let's see. Les, thank you so much for the follow. All right, so Cotton asks, work upper body one day, lower body the next day, or does it matter? There are a lot of different styles of training, all right, and frequency, right? The more you know, you'll understand that it's all about intensity. It's not about a magic routine in splitting up. You know, if you go really far down the rabbit hole of the younger passion fitness experts with all the detail, they're continually taking the basics and then a lot of opinion, supposed strategy is breaking out and making it more and more detailed, complex, right? So, for example, you can't train your chest with your triceps, right? When they go down the rabbit hole, right? Because there's training your chest here, or you should train it together, whatever it is, right? It's basically you can train the body part individually on that workout, group together too, right? Right, and break it out over the course of 3 days or 4 days. You can train that body part twice a week. And how many different exercises? If you go to skiplecore.com, I've got workout routines that are broken out for you. Right, then it's about you applying the intensity to it. That's what makes the difference. Not necessarily the split. So get going, find the one that you feel comfortable with, and make the most out of every set. That is the key. Right, that is the key. Right, frequency. It's tendency, especially when you're ambitious and you're trying this out. Right, that more is better. More isn't necessarily better. Right, better is better, but that's a process, right? So what I would suggest, instead of reinventing the wheel, and you probably do what you do well as far as your business, to kind of think it out where there's training routines, and basically there's 3 or 4 formats. You can group together a couple body parts, do them one at a time, or a full body work. That's basically the 3, and then how they split it up, preference, theories, and things like that. But if you just follow 1 or 3 that fits your schedule, what's sustainable, right? And then apply that after learning what you do, really feeling the muscle form, feeling execution, what they call mind muscle connection. Those are the most important thing, rather than thinking that there's this secret combination. If you do this routine versus that routine, one will unlock this unlimited muscle growth, and one, well, then it's the wrong one for you, so it's not going to work. All about overloading muscle. The question about kettlebells, it's kind of the same thing. You can use a traditional barbell dumbbell, work a particular body part. You can do a full body workout. Right? You can superset it by stack a few exercises together, go one to the other, 3 or 4, right? But or kettlebells, right? But it's all about overloading the muscle. Right? How you do it, it's about intensity. It's about your goals. What do you prefer? What style you like best? So Parkin asks, which platform do I go live on? Just YouTube? No, you're watching me on YouTube. At the same time, I'm going live on Facebook, and that's at Skip LaCour page, and on TikTok at Skip LaCour. So I'm doing all three at the same time. And I suggest that you're on all of my platforms. They all offer a different way of presenting the information. So I use all of them, and you should see everything that I'm doing. Also, go to skiplacour.com, my website. When you watch those videos, they'll give you the opportunity to sign up for my email list. And over the coming months, I'll direct you in a series of emails over a couple months to the right places to go for the information that you need at that time. So it's a workout series when you sign up for my email list at skiplacour.com. You also see a lot of the questions that I'll answer today. In future lives, you'll see that I created a video, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour long, that addresses a lot of the questions that you have now. And then as you get more experience, the questions that you'll have later, and that's over on skiplacour.com. QC Muscle over on YouTube. So he's 60 years old, and he's been working out for 20 years. And he wants to know, what would I recommend for him to get bigger? All right, that's a great question. Not for most of the men who come to me. They were like in their 50s, and they've been working out hard, doing what they know. Now they're looking for that next level, maybe a year or so of training. That's the majority of the men who I cater to here on Workouts for Older Men Live. Every once in a while, I got a gentleman who's been training for 20, 30 years, right? One thing that I find is that many men, now I'm not sure if that's true of you, of QC Muscle, you got your muscle in your avatar name, but a lot of men, they get results way back 25 years ago. They just kind of instinctively train or learn one way of training. And really, because they get results, they're really eating the same way and they're training the same way as they did, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So sometimes they're resistant to new strategies because what they're doing is working. Can't get to that next level, but they see what they're doing is working, right? What I found is that, I would have to talk to the individual. Obviously, what they're doing, if they've been consistent in the gym for 20 plus years, they must be doing something right. But sometimes, and I call it the 3x10 mentality, 3x10 mentality. That means I do 3 sets of every exercise, 10 reps each, right? That mentality, you do that on a consistent basis, hey, you're going to stimulate muscle. But that mentality is actually what keeps you stagnant for years. And what I mean by that is when you do your sets, you don't just check off a box, right? You don't just get 10 reps. You got to fight, really fight and push yourself every set. A workout is just made of 3 or 4 different exercises. If you really think about it, if you go 3 sets each, we're talking about 12 different sets. It's what you do that one set all out. You're safe, but you're pushing yourself. You're demanding the muscle to push itself farther than it's gone before. That one set, then you forget about it. And then all that matters is another set. You stack together 12 sets. That's called intensity. You're going to that almost failure safely, of course, right? A lot of men don't know how to do that. They're just shooting for 10. Whether they could have done 11, 12, or 13, still shooting for 10. Sometimes they get surprised by that, not often, and they want to quit at 7, but because they set the goal at 10, they get to 10, right? That will work. That's a basic check-off level, but it doesn't take into account what I said about every set matters. You're just guiding your way through, gliding into 10 reps. Again, it's better than nothing. It isn't like you get zero productivity out of that, but that's not what intensity is, right? So how do you set up that level of intensity? Well, you can't hurry from set to set, right? You can't, I'm going to just rest 15 seconds. That's better, isn't it? No, it's about that intensity. You got to wait till you get about 100% of your strength back without losing your focus, right? You can't do all this extra sets, extra volume, right? Because it just waters down that intensity of the one set. You're pacing yourself through a lot of exercises, right, that aren't necessary, duplicating the same thing, a lot of extra sets, pyramiding up in sets. We do two, I don't know, 75%, and then you bear down on the other two sets, right? Or you always have a practice one, so to speak, and then you do two. You got to throw out the practice one. If you've already, that muscle part's already warmed up, these type of things, warming up sufficiently and then sprinting all through where every set is a demanding set. No pyramiding up anymore once you're warmed up. It doesn't need that. You already warmed up. These are the things that make intensity. I don't assume any man just because he's been training for 20 years, and if you're just starting out, you got to remember this too. I don't assume that he understands intensity, because a lot of men who look pretty good just don't. They've been curling, I don't know, whatever, 40 pounds for their bicep curls, and they've been doing that pretty much since day one. And it doesn't make sense. They just can't see themselves ever getting up to 50 pounds, right? Because they don't have that mentality. They're just checking off the boxes. So yeah. So when I talk to men, again, this may not be true of you, Casey, QC muscle, but for a lot of men, I don't take for granted that they've learned the basics, because if they, again, 20 years ago, if nobody taught them this, they're just doing the same thing for 20 years, or basically the same thing, regardless of what they may think. All right. Nutrition is a very important part to building muscle, and after you train in the gym, right? You got to feed yourself enough food, right? And I know a lot of men have too much body fat. I want to talk about that too, but you got to eat as much food as humanly possible, all right, without being so far over your maintenance that you accumulate body fat, right? Just not knowing how much you eat, just eating 1,200 calories and training, like I said, with that intensity, it's not enough food. But if you don't even know how much food you eat, is that a lot? Is a little? A lot of men have no idea how many calories they eat, so they don't know if it's enough or it's too little. They just instinctively say, well, I guess I have enough muscle. I guess this is the right body fat. I guess it's the right amount. You know what? You're probably in patterns if you're serious, but is that 1,200 calories? Is that 2,500 calories? And if you don't know and you don't think it matters and you're all over the place, well, these are some of the problems you have building muscle and size stacked over time. And the other thing too is that at this age, right, how much muscle, especially if you've been training for 20 years, but it's also true when you're a little bit older and you're training for a year and a half with a lot of intensity, applying the same level of intensity in that work ethic that made you successful in your family and your business. You've just applied it for a year, right? How much muscle is realistic? How much muscle can you actually gain? Is it ounces or is it pounds? Because if your size is your thing, which, man, I really recommend older men that's a young person's mentality. They bulk up, have all this unnecessary fat. They believe there's muscle underneath it. Now they're going to trim the fat, but all that size, it's not real size. You got to know how much is muscle, how much is a fat. So if you're an older man, you're at 23% body fat, you look better than most, you're known as the guy, the workout guy, you will look a lot better if you got leaner. Get that to 18%, 15%, right? That's when all the magic happens. So a lot of times you're never going to gain that size. And I don't mean to be negative, because it doesn't work as fast even for the younger guys, all right? Getting lean gives you the illusion of size. So for most men, and I don't know you QC muscle, right? Carrying around 23% body fat, looking big in their shirt, but they don't like the body underneath. It's good. It's better than most, but they want to look, ripped with the shoulders popping, the thin skin, the veins, the chest, the man boobs gone, no muffin top, flat stomach, maybe some abs showing. Man, you got to get that body fat down, and that's going to give you a illusion of size more than by lifting so much weight and building muscle. That transformation is going to happen with that body fat getting lower. And even if you look better than most, if you want to look like closer to the guys who you admire on social media, what you see of me on the image, man, that's body fat being lowered without being so consumed and distracted by size. That's really just, the muscle that you've earned, marbled with a lot of body fat. You assuming that is all muscle and holding on it too tightly where you're not going to get lean. Hey, thank you so much, Dark New York, for the gifts. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Tap that screen. Tap that screen on TikTok. If you're loving this type of energy, come to you every single morning, giving the information, the inspiration, just for guys like you and me, a little bit older, busy, productive lives. We got to get it done. We don't want to hang with the young guys. We got our own life. We're going to budget. We're going to manage what we have to do to be healthy and fit, build muscle, lose body fat, but keep on with our productive life. All right. Admire the young guys. Admire that they're willing to be in the gym 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. If we need to do that, fine. But we're going to be productive in there. We don't have time to waste. I want to use my 35 years of experience and then spending at least 15 years in that super focus, whatever it takes mode as a 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder, balancing it with the life that I have now, which is probably closer to what you had 25 years ago, with a daughter who's almost 11 and a son who is 9, and everything that involves, right? So I want to help you differentiate what's important and what's not. There's a saying that says, if everything is important, then nothing is. And I'm just here to tell you from my vantage point, 80% of the information that you're scrolling through that is influencing you on social media, it's not important. And all the basics that you need to know, you need to appreciate, you need to identify, you need to get deeper and deeper and deeper, respect, take to higher and higher levels. That stuff is glossed over. It's hidden. They've gone on. The basic organized principles just in life, those are the boring things to most people who aren't committed and focused like you. And so they don't get the likes. All right. So the influencers want to get the likes, want to get the views, right? Which is, I certainly understand that. And there is a big portion of this fitness population that is younger. They have short attention spans. They want it now. They think that it's the secret strategy. I get all that. But you just need to know 80% of the information is not going to help you if you don't have that strong foundation. Now, I want to bring those organizing principles, that strong foundation, emphasize it over and over again. I don't necessarily want to expand to things that don't matter just to keep it interesting when I know you don't have that strong foundation. But we'll mix it up with lifestyle strategies and things to make it interesting. So you have a productive life, more enjoyment and fulfillment. With that mindset, that heart, that passion in life, and we'll just use fitness as the vehicle, the avenue to get more out of life, and that's how we'll make it different. Got a lot of things planned for on TikTok, confidence for older men, and got a lot of a podcast, a lot of interesting things. So in addition to building muscle, losing body fat, and, give you some things to think about now that you're a little bit old. So make sure you're on my TikTok for the launch of that podcast, Confidence for Older Men. Rounding everything out. You're welcome, QC Muscle. You're welcome. I hope that was helpful. Give you some things to think about. You guys reach out to me. I always make myself available to you when I do these live broadcasts every morning. Kind of start my day off with you, and then I get some ambitious driven men who kind of want to just look, how do I get a hold of you? How do I get some one-on-one attention? And so I'll take, 3 or 4 men. All right, this is what you do. You text me at that number on the screen, 925-352-4366. 4366, 925-352-4366. Just say, hey, this is Joe. I saw you on TikTok. Hey, this is QC Muscle. I saw you on TikTok this morning. Text me a picture. All right, a picture tells me 1,000 words that I can use my 35 years of experience. You might be too hard on yourself. Who knows? You might be too easy on yourself. I'm not sure. So I'll have that picture. Then you go to talkwithskip.com. Go to talkwithskip.com. All right. Go to talkwithskip.com and fill out that questionnaire. You'll see. I'll ask you a lot of questions. You'll get really clear on where you are and where you want to go. You'll text that to me. You'll get a copy, and then I'll look at your picture. I have your number. I have all the information on the questionnaire that you filled out. And then today's a really good day for me too. I would jump on that today. This is a good day for me. I'll reach out to you. We'll spend 10 or 15 minutes on the phone, right? I can really help you zone in on your biggest challenge. If you think that's your diet, or if it's your workout, I can really attack one area, validate what you're doing well, right? Make adjustments where you need to, but really give you a realistic time frame, right, of when you can expect it, because you can be doing everything right, but you think you're doing everything wrong, right? So again, really simple process. When you, I do this for the men who frequently watch my live broadcast. So if not you today, think about it somewhere down the line, right? So text me at 925-352-4366 and go to talkwithskip.com. It'll take you over to a questionnaire on my skiplecore.com website. Fill that out. I'll have that. Do that right away this morning. First come, first serve. I'll reach out to you, and then we'll spend 10 or 15 minutes on the phone. I will direct you to some resources, give you some resources, set you straight, right? We'll do this one step at a time. All right. So again, I do that just for the viewers to my show. Again, this is Workouts for Older Men Live. A lot of men say, am I old enough for workouts for older men? What's the difference? Aren't workouts and muscle? It's about our conditions. Do I have too little testosterone to ever build muscle? Can I build muscle when I'm older? Will I ever be able to lift the weight that I used to? And if I don't, is it possible for me? I've got joint pain because I'm older. I don't have the time that I had when I was younger. I'm not even sure what this muscle thing is going to do for me. Maybe there's a reason why I put it off, right? Getting your head straight. All right. That's what we talk about as we talk about the organizing principles, actually build muscle and lose body fat. We don't talk about gym adequate. We don't talk about gym crushes or all this, I guess, interesting stuff, all this detail that the younger people talk about. It's interesting to them. Cut through all of that, right? You just get the information you need, get to the gym, eat right, and get back to your busy, productive life. All right. So that's what Workouts for Older Men Live is all about. Thank you so much for all the likes. Tap that screen, right? Let's see how many likes we can get over on TikTok and attract more men like you. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much for the follows. This is good follow day. Appreciate it, right? It gives me, man, I must be bringing the energy. TikTok, they come on, I get 10 seconds to wow you, right? And then maybe earn another 10 or 15 seconds. If I'm here, if I deliver enough, get you to follow, then I get more chances every time I go live. Every time I post, you'll be alerted. So make sure you follow. Mobean007, thank you for the follow. Go Fish, thank you for the follow. Iltex, I remember you and Kai on the same stage. Also, Tim Martin was a natty who was huge too. Yes, I remember those days a long time ago, 20 years ago, right? Time flies, right? Nefarious, thank you for the follow. Orgs17775, thank you for the follow. Decent Sense, thank you for the follow over on TikTok. All right, let's see. Jeff on Facebook, welcome. Thank you for being here, sir. Tree Girl over on YouTube. Thank you for being here. My thoughts on the carnivore diet. All right, there are certain things that make any diet work, whether it's carnivore, fasting, right? Certain things that you don't eat too many calories. You don't eat too few calories. When you find that right amount, you're consistent with it. Talk with a gentleman, he would eat right 4 out of 7 days. That was the standard he lived at. Now, that's fine coming up with that plan. Are those standards high enough, right? So when you find that right amount of food for you, and it may take some experimentation, right? You're consistent with it, just like with everything, right? And then what do you expect in what time frame? If you have those 4 things in order, every diet will work. Now it's just what appeals, what does this better? This is better for building muscle. This is better for, keeping your blood sugars down, right? And then what do you like? But they'll all work if those four requirements to make an effective diet work. And I can talk more about that. I can talk about those things with you individually, right? So If you like it, if it's attractive, you have some social proof, people are saying that it works for you, you're more likely to be consistent. Give it a 50 out of 10 effort, as I say. If you believe in it right out of the gate, you're going to put more effort and get better results, be more consistent with it. So, you got to believe in it. So then it comes down to what's sustainable. A lot of these diets will work, but is it something you can do after the body fat is lost? Will you stick with it, right? Mentally, lifestyle, would you stick with it to get all the results? Would you take it all the way home, or partially and say, this isn't for me? See, a lot of people, whether it's the carnivore diet, it doesn't work well with their lifestyle. It works well for a while. They're fine with it for a while. But just like with anything, the benefits, the weight loss is always going to slow down. That's when the rubber meets the road for everything in life, right? It's easy to keep on going with the plan and budget and sacrifice or whatever it requires when it's working well. A lot of these diets will deliver that. Carnivore diet, intermittent fasting. But then when it slows down, it's still working, but it doesn't compare. Do you know that you're still winning, or do you think this isn't working anymore, right? So it's understanding that a lot of mentally lifestyle, they can't finish it out because they don't really understand enough about it, all right? Too much of a sacrifice, right? When I put men on eating plans, diet eating plans, the way that they eat in day one is the way they'll eat, just say 6 months later when they're ripped and shredded, whatever level that means to them, when the 40 pounds are gone, when the 20 pounds are gone, when the last 10 pounds of body fat are gone. They're eating the same way, same foods, probably eating more food, believe it or not, as they get leaner. But they start off eating a lot of food. See, that's a sustainable approach that you need to understand. It's not more challenging, but the rewards may not come as quickly as something like a carnivore diet or like intermittent fasting, whatever popular ones that you have. Many times, the key to these diets working, certainly in the short term, is you're eating not very many calories, far too few to be sustainable. All right, for most people. All right. So they're working because, like I said, intermittent fasting, is it the large gaps in time when you eat your 2 meals, or is it those 2 meals are 500 calories each and all you're eating is 1,000 calories? It's because you're only eating 1,000 calories, not because of the timing. That may work well for you. It may fit your lifestyle, but it's working because you're eating 1,000 calories. And I know for most of your men, I encourage you to know how much food you eat. A lot of resistance to that for some reason. You can't get to the next level if you don't know. You don't even, 1,000 calories, is that bad? I have a friend that works. You don't even know. Not only how much you eat, even if you knew it was 1,000 calories, what's he saying? Is that good? Is that bad? You have no idea, right? That's too few calories. So it will work, right? But will it be sustainable? So that's what I think about the card. As far as health reasons, after all that stuff, I got to go by whatever the research says, things like that. And there's a lot of talk about that. But that's way down the line. It's long-term effects, and most people won't even be on the carnivore diet 6 months from now to worry about, I think, the long-term health effects, to be perfectly honest. Dave from Australia, so great to have you here over on YouTube. Great talking to you yesterday. Jeff, good morning, sir, over on Facebook. Robert over on Facebook, good morning. Larry, good morning over on Facebook. Okay, so Henry on TikTok, great question. He asked, what supplements do you recommend? What supplements do I recommend? A lot of times they'll add in, what supplements do you recommend for older men? Now this is from my 35 years of experience, not just doing it, but working with men, understanding what they understand about working out and training and eating to have the body that they want. All right. And this is also I got, because of my ambition to write, make a difference and help people, and the value I gave, how I presented myself on social media, in addition to I had what it takes to become a 6-time national champion. I work with some of the great supplement companies. So I had all of their supplements for free. It's part of the contract deal, right? And I took all those supplements. As a natural bodybuilder, you want every legal edge, right? And these are supplements that they sell over the counter, right? And so I would take the supplement. So this is someone who used them religiously, represented the company. And I was biased because I wanted to work and I wanted to support the company, and I did take them, right? So I've got a lot of experience with all the supplements, all right? I also have a lot of experience helping men like you who are a little bit older. And because of that, I don't recommend supplements. I don't recommend supplements at all until I talk to you. I want to know that you have the basics covered, because if you are eating right and you are training consistently, if you're doing that, you probably don't need what the supplements do for you, right? You're getting it all from your work and effort and your knowledge and your follow through and your consistency, right? So I'm not going to be irresponsible and say, take this, this, and this, right? When it might help you this much, and it's really not going to be noticeable because you don't understand the working out and the training. So for those reasons, I don't even recommend supplements unless I talk to you. I know that you got all those boxes checked, because I don't want to mislead you. You'll block out the part that I basically said, you don't know enough about training and eating. And when you do, you save all that money, and you don't need those supplements, right? But all you might hear is the supplements that I recommended, right? So I don't want to do that for you, right? Hey, real transformation takes knowledge, it takes understanding, it takes weeks, so it works in to your busy, productive life. All right. You don't just go from this lifestyle, this priorities, right? And then create lasting change with a couple of gimmicks over a couple of weeks. I want you to go to skiplacore.com/transformation. skiplacore.com/transformation. Let me put that on the screen there. All right. All right, skiplacore.com/transformation. All right, this is where I take men like you through 12 weeks, week by week, hour. That's our day and time that we meet. All right, I give you the workout strategy. That's the easy part. The workout strategy, the diet that's tailored to you. Right, I make sure you know it, you execute it. You're totally certain and confident with it. We take assessment photos. You have access to me every single day. There's things that I do to get you focused on this journey, immerse yourself in the process. When you do that long enough, with the most effective and efficient strategies that are effective but not wasting your time, you do that for a long enough period. That's what it creates lasting change. All of the strategies that I give you are for lasting change. You eat a lot of food, and you understand an eating plan, not a short-term diet. You understand how long it really takes. So you use the right strategies, and you do it over enough time. All right. So I want you to go to skiplacore.com/transformation. That's on the screen. Fill out that questionnaire. If you're interested in lasting change, you're the type of man you're willing to, pay the price of the standards that you just need to know what they are. Just need to know what to do. You're willing to do it. All right. Go there, fill out that form, and we'll talk about it. Right. Because that is the elements, not just a short-term strategy, not just a burst of ambition for a couple of weeks. This is what it takes for the rest of your life, right? You're in your 50s, maybe older. You've been battling this for a while. 12 weeks with me, all right, in a sustainable manner. I'll become your individual coach, and you'll have this for the rest of your life. So it's a year from now. You can just be on these videos instead of getting frustrated and overwhelmed by the information, what to do, changing, right? You can just watch this for entertainment, for inspiration, because you're certain and confident what you do. Put in the work, make the investment of time, immerse yourself in the process. 12 weeks. I will not let you down. If this fitness thing, if this body fat you've been carrying around 40 extra pounds for the last 40 years or whatever, you've never been in shape. I want to use my 35 years and not just doing it again. It's helping out men like you understand where you're coming, have that empathy, understanding of where you put your priorities before, helping you create that mental, physical, and changes to the way you work out, the way you prioritize working out and eating, and it's sustainable for the rest of your life. So go to skiplacour.com/transformation, fill out the questionnaire, and before you make any commitment, I want to make sure that you're ready. There may be other ways, watching a few videos that I could just tell you what to do for free and come back when you're ready to go on this transformation, right? I don't put anybody in this program who isn't ready. So if you at least believe you're mentally ready, just fill out that questionnaire. We'll spend some time talking. I'll explain the process to you. I'll learn a lot about you. When you fill out that questionnaire, I am going to learn a lot about you, get a picture from you. We'll do a real honest assessment because this, I definitely don't want put anybody on a journey that they're not suited for or they're not going to make it to the other side. I use my experience to assess that, and you won't even go into this program unless I feel that you're ready, and that's for your success. So if this is at all interesting, go to skiplacour.com/transformation, right? Fill out that questionnaire and we'll talk. As a matter of fact, I just talked to Dave. Dave filled out that questionnaire for the transformation. That is not the avenue that was best for him. He didn't need all that, right? He's been training for a long time. He just had to get his mind right and some more effective strategy. He used to do it like a bodybuilder. He was a bodybuilder, right? So he didn't even need this 12 weeks. But if you're a little bit older, you have a busy, productive life. Like I said, you've been productive with your family, building a business over these years, building and developing your kids and family, all that dedication that it takes, just didn't put your effort into working out, eating. So now here in your 50s, the way you look, the way you feel, maybe you have a little bit of head start, but it's not congruent with the man you see in the mirror. And you're sick and tired of this. You want it taken care of 12 weeks, you'll have it for the rest of your life. So go to skiplacour.com/transformation and we'll get going. So that's what it takes for real change, real lasting change. Right? Just think about just watching these videos. It's not confusing. It's not frustrating. I can't watch this anymore. It just makes me more overwhelmed and confused. I want to end that for you so you can scroll the internet, just get inspired because you're certain on what to do. All right. So go to skiplacour.com/transformation. Just check it out. Fill out the questionnaire. Be more than happy to talk. It'd be nice meeting you, a person who is loving this information, who's really into it, who's a little bit old. I really enjoy just talking to men like you and me. We'll see if that's the way that's going to do it. All right. So check that out. skiplacour.com/transformation. And like I said, if it's not suited for you, I might have resources for you for free that I think that you should understand. Do that for a couple months and then come back because you know what? That may be all you need. All right. So everybody's individual. So that's why I spend so much time talking to you. All right. So again, if there's a lot of things we talked about, intensity of working out, that's what makes it work. We talked about supplements, but really, I want to just really key in on what it takes for real, lasting change. That transformation that you need now that you're a little bit older. You can do this even though you're older. You can approach it like a younger man. All right. So over on YouTube and Facebook, that's going to do it. All right. For this Workouts for Older Men Live, I'm so glad you're here. All right. Let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.